glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long.
Gorillaz is an animated band that was created in 1998 by musician Damon Albarn and artist Jamie Hewlett, with hits such as Clint Eastwood, Dare, and Feel Good Inc. The band is based out of Essex, England, but have a huge fan base all over the world. While Damon and Jamie are the only real members of the band, along with the countless featured artists, there are 4 fictional characters: Murdoch Nichols, 2D, Russell Hobbs, and Noodle. These 4 are the real stars of the show. Today I'm going to teach you about their history and just what the Gorillaz mean to their fans. Many will recognize Damon Albarn's voice as the frontman of Blur, where he got his start in music in 1988. Albarn met Jamie Hewlett in 1990 when Hewlett was asked to interview Blur for his Deadline magazine, which was home to his comic Tank Girl. Hewlett at first thought Albarn was arsey, but later on started living with him in London in 1997. The pair's idea to create Gorillaz came when they were watching MTV in their flat. Hewlett said, "If you watch MTV for too long, it's a bit like hell. There's nothing of substance there." So we came up with this idea for a virtual band, something that would be a comment on that. This brings us to the main reason we're here, the animated band. It's time to meet them. First, we have Murdoch Nichols, the bass player who started it all. Murdoch Nichols is, in his own words, the creative genius behind Gorillaz, but actually he's way more than that. He's a living legend, bigger than Mozart and the sex idol of billions.
Hi, I'm Murdoch Nichols from Gorillaz.
In other words, Murdoch Nichols is full of himself. He can be extremely arrogant and often uses others to get what he wants. His birthday is June 6, 1966, and he's a practicing Satanist who offered his soul to the devil once he became a famous rock star. While Murdoch does mess up from time to time, he does want what is best for his band and will do anything for them. Stuart 2D Pott is the well-mannered, talkative, and dim-witted singer of Gorillaz. Creators Damon and Jamie have said that 2D is so unintelligent that he has a blank sheet of paper where his brain should be. His nickname 2D is short for Too Dense, in reference to the dents in his head from accidents caused by Murdoch. Throughout the years, 2D and Murdoch's relationship has been a roller coaster of good times and abuse, but recently Murdoch has been trying to treat him better. Russell Hobbs is the drummer for Gorillaz, a New York native who, in his free time, is either making beats or practicing taxidermy.
That is Russell. He's our drummer.
Russell was kidnapped by Murdoch when the band was first forming, and after hearing the material Murdoch had, Russell agreed to be in the band. He had been haunted and possessed for years by his dead friends, one of which being a rapper named Del. Because of these hauntings, Russ has been left with glowing white eyes. Del has since been exorcised from Russell's body, which caused him to go into a depression for some time. Last, but certainly not least, we have Noodle, the mysterious kick-ass Asian axe princess. Noodle joined the band by FedEx crate. Yes, you heard that right.
And there was his FedEx crate outside.
Nothing more. No one there. Just a crate.
We opened it up.
And inside was Noodle, our guitarist. We were a band. We changed our name to Gorillaz there and then, and the rest is history.
The only word of English she knew at the time was noodle, so it became her new name. Noodle is often referred to as the boy's daughter or little sister, depending on which member you ask. We're going to learn about the band's phases. We've already learned a lot about Phase 1, where the band first got together, so we're going to skip ahead to Phase 2, where the band's lore-driven universe really kicks into gear. Phase 2 begins with the band on their own adventures, with 2D working at his father's fun fair, Murdoch in jail down in Mexico, Russell recovering from the loss of his friend Del in Los Angeles, and Noodle on a journey in Japan to learn more about her mysterious past. Noodle had begun her journey after being plagued by visions and nightmares while on tour. In Japan, she was reunited with her mentor, Mr. Cayuzo, and learned that she was part of a secret government project and could speak English fluently. Noodle was the only survivor after the project was scrapped. Mr. Cayuzo erased Noodle's memory using the words ocean bacon and sent her off to England in the FedEx crate. After this, Noodle returns to their home base, Kong Studios, and works on getting the band back together so they can record their new album, Demon Days, all of which was written by her. Around 2006, Noodle wanted to leave Gorillaz for a break. She planned to leave straight after the filming of the Almania video shoot. On March 7, 2006, Gorillaz started the shoot for Almania, which starred Noodle on her windmill island. Halfway through the video, the island gets shot down by the Boogeyman's minions. The island goes down with Noodle on it, but she grabs a parachute and escapes. In Phase 3, we learn that Murdoch has burned down Kong Studios and used the insurance money to build a new base out in the middle of the ocean made completely out of garbage, to which he calls Plastic Beach. He wanted to record a new album, but his bandmates were nowhere to be found. Using a bit of Noodle's DNA he found in the Almania wreckage, he builds Cyborg Noodle. This robot acts as a guitarist and Murdoch's personal bodyguard. 2D is kidnapped and brought to Plastic Beach to record the new album. The real Noodle comes back with Russell to Plastic Beach, but is battered and bruised from the events of Almania. Phase 4 is on the shorter side, with the Humans album being released in 2017. Lore-wise, there isn't much here, aside from Murdoch meeting a man named Elmirda in the strobe light video. This sets us up for Phase 5, where Murdoch is once again thrown in jail and needs his fans to help him out this time. Today, the band is in Phase 5. While Elmirda had Murdoch thrown in jail for supposedly smuggling, the band hires Ace Coppola from the Powerpuff Girls to fill in on the bass, and they record their current album, The Now Now. In the music video for their single, Humility, 2D is thought to have been possessed, though we later learn that that is not the case. Murdoch calls upon his fans to get him out of jail by starting the Free Murdoch campaign, where every 2 weeks fans would chat with him through social media and help move along his escape plan. This past October, we learned that Murdoch was in jail for unpaid parking tickets, not smuggling, and that the entire situation was blown out of proportion. Murdoch apologizes to his fans, saying that he won't forget what they've done for him, even though he most likely will, and that he's off to go on tour with Gorillaz.
So my first encounter with Gorillaz was at a music festival I went to in Poland this summer, and at first I didn't know who they were, and they were the headliner of that night, and I thought it was really odd because headliners should be really popular. I'm like, how do I not know this band? And so they came on, and it was, I don't know, it was just, I liked them, and it could have been because I had some alcohol that night.
You know, I could be in the worst mood ever, but once I go and I start listening to some of their songs, I start, feeling better, and I feel like I can kind of dance around to them. And they're just one of those bands that have a lot of feel-good songs. No pun intended.
I love Noodle. She's just badass and really cool. And I technically grew up with her, and she's the most developed character ever. And then there's Russell. He's probably the most sane one out of all of them. Chill, just there, and he has an interesting backstory.
And that brings us up to date on the band. I hope you've enjoyed. But now, if you'll excuse me, I have a Gorillaz concert to get to.